Hi, I'm Scott Edwards, the founder of Ear Training HQ. In this short video, I'd like to talk to you about what you can achieve with ear training. I'm going to tell you about how you can become a far better musician than you ever thought you could be, and I'm going to tell you about how Ear Training HQ will put you on the easy road to doing this. So first off, let's get to the most important part of the video. How can ear training make you a better musician? At Ear Training HQ, you'll train your ears to do one thing. You'll learn to recognize which notes are being played whenever you hear music. You'll learn how to do this automatically and easily so that the names of notes and chords will pop straight into your head whenever you hear music. This may be just one skill, but it will allow you to do a lot of different things that you simply can't do without it. For example, you'll be able to play your favorite tunes by memory as if you were singing them, because you'll identify the notes as you hear them in your head. You'll also be able to transcribe any music by ear without using an instrument. And you'll be able to improvise freely, simply playing the ideas that you hear in your head. You'll be able to do all of this and a lot more. I'm sure you can already think of plenty of other situations where this skill will be incredibly useful. When and only when you learn to recognize which notes you're hearing in music. Some musicians think this sounds just far too good to be true. And I think this is because they feel that only naturally talented musicians can play by ear. If you feel that way, I have some great news for you. This simply just isn't the case. And I have a case study to prove it to you, of sorts. Me. I'm a professionally trained musician. I studied music performance at college. I was always an okay player, but when I first started, my ears were absolutely terrible. I'd done no ear training before I got there, and in fact my poor ears almost prevented me from getting in. So I was way behind, and it caused me a lot of problems. I struggled a lot because I couldn't seem to get my ears working right. And to be honest, the ear training classes that they had there just didn't help me to get any better. But after I finished, I dedicated myself to ear training. I focused on it for about 2 solid years, and I used a huge selection of different courses and books to help me with it. The more time I spent on ear training, the more convinced I became that I was on the right path. As things started to click, I could see the huge changes it was making to my playing. And after about 2 years, everything fell into place. I could improvise freely without having to think about chords or scales. I could memorize music quickly and easily. I could transcribe tunes and solos without an instrument. And I could do everything else that comes along with having great ears. Even my tuning improved, which was a big deal for me because I'm a saxophone player. I was finally able to approach music in the way that I wanted to, and it was liberating. Now that I've made the change, I could never go back. Everything about playing music is just far better when you're using your ears. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. 2 years. 2 years? I'd love to develop my ears and experience the musical freedom that comes with it, but 2 years is a really, really long time. Well, I have some more great news for you. It doesn't have to take 2 years. It took me well over double the amount of time that it should have to train my ears, and this is for one simple reason. The guidance that I got from the various books and courses, and even from the exercises that we used when I was in college, was all a little bit off. All of these different sources got some things right, but it missed out on others. And because of this, I ran into a pile of roadblocks along the way, because sometimes it's just really difficult with ear training to know what you need to work on. And sometimes it would take me months to work out what I needed to do to keep improving. Whenever I knew exactly what I needed to do next, I learned very quickly. But when I didn't know what to do, I would work away at the wrong exercises for weeks at a time and go absolutely nowhere. And I think this happens with a lot of other musicians who really want to develop their ears. If I knew then what I know now, I would have always worked on the right things at the right time, and I could have done it all in a matter of a few short months. This became obvious as I helped my friends and my students with ear training. And I watched them slash the amount of time it took them to train their ears down to a fraction of what it would have been. I was able to do this because I now have a much deeper understanding of how ear training works than most. I've always believed that being a great teacher isn't always about being the best player. Some of the best musicians in the world are terrible teachers because everything came so naturally, they just don't know how to explain it to their students. To be a great teacher, it's more important to understand the subject that you're teaching and to know how to explain it to others. By working on ear training myself, I developed the knowledge to make myself a great teacher for anyone who wants to develop their ears. When I realized this, I realized that I could help a lot more people than just those around me to experience the freedom and pure enjoyment that comes with having great ears. And so Ear Training HQ was born. Ear Training HQ is here to make sure that you can experience this as well. Our members receive full access to my expertise and knowledge. I've developed the Progressive Ear Training course that will take you step by step through the ear training process. The course has 10 steps. Step 1 starts right at the basics, and by step 10, you'll be able to recognize melodies and chord progressions from complete pieces of music. The exercises that you'll be provided with in each step build on those from previous steps, so you'll always be able to see the progress that you're making. And the linear approach will prevent you from hitting any roadblocks because you'll always build on what you've already learned. As a member, you'll literally find everything you could possibly need to develop great ears and become a great musician. There's a wealth of material including video lessons, downloadable audio exercises which you can listen to wherever you go on your iPod or in your car, sight singing exercises, and written explanations of all the important concepts. In addition to this, you'll receive full personal support from me. That's right, I answer all the questions that you could have about ear training personally. This means that you can't fail. If you get stuck, just email me and I'll be there to help you out. And I'm yet to receive a question that I've been unable to help with. I truly believe that if you become an Ear Training HQ member, you can't help but develop great ears. So now that we've talked about how you can take your playing to new heights with ear training, and how Ear Training HQ will help you to achieve that, how much does it cost to receive all the tools that will allow you to change the way that you play music forever, as well as the expertise to make sure you can solve any problems you run into along the way? You can join today and try the course out for just $4.95. When you sign up, you'll create your account and receive access to the first step of the course for the next 2 weeks. Additionally, there's absolutely no commitment when you take up that trial to continuing on with the course. You can cancel your membership at any time. We've set this up because we want to give everyone a chance to try our approach to ear training because we know that you'll love it. If you decide that you want to continue, you'll receive access to a new step every 2 weeks for the next 5 months, which makes up a total of the 10 steps. You can log into your account at any time to access the course, so you can move at your own pace. During these 5 months, you'll pay only $29 per month, and after the 5 months, you'll remain a member for life, and you'll never pay another cent. As a part of this, you'll receive access to any updates that I make to the course absolutely free of charge. At this point, I hope you can see that ear training can completely change the way that you experience music so that you can be a more natural and simply a much better musician. I also hope that you realize that no matter how undeveloped your ears are now, you can do this and you can achieve this. I truly do believe that everyone can develop great ears. So I'd like to point out the choice that you have in front of you. You can take the first path. You can forget about Ear Training HQ and continue to work on music in the way that you do now. You'll continue to progress as you have been, and you'll probably continue to enjoy playing music as you do now. Or you can take the second path. You can join Ear Training HQ right now and try the course out.
The trial is only $4.95, and I'm even happy to refund your $4.95 if you really don't like the course, so there's absolutely nothing to lose.
But if you do like the course, you have an awful lot to gain. You'll have everything you need to transform your playing at your fingertips. With the material you'll receive and the personal support from me, you'll be guaranteed to succeed in training your ears. And like I said earlier, there's absolutely no comparison. Once you can play using your ears, you won't know how you got by without this skill for so long. If you join now, in just a few short months, you'll be able to experience this freedom and enjoyment of music for yourself. So this brings us to the end of my monologue. If you're ready to become a better musician, click the Join Today button below, and I'll see you in the members area.